Hi, I'm Alex Theuma, CEO founder of SaaStock, and I'm live at SaaStock Europe, which is the 7th edition, 2024, and we're doing a live edition of the SaaS Revolution Show today, and I'm delighted to be joined by Muhammad Younas, who's the CEO of vFairs. Welcome to Dublin, Muhammad, welcome to the SaaS Revolution Show.
Thank you, Alex, thank you for having me.
Yeah, great to have you here. So this is your first SaaStock?
This is my first SaaStock Europe.
Yeah.
I have been to the US edition
you've been to the
previously,
US. Okay.
but first time here in Europe.
And first impressions of Dublin and SaaStock in Europe, maybe how it's different?
Dublin is an amazing city. I was just out there yesterday, attending a couple of events. It's an amazing city to be in, and again, first impression of this conference. I'm in the conference business. I know how hard it is to run one. But beautiful venue, beautiful setting, loving it so far. Yeah,
well, I'm glad you're here, looking forward to the conversation. I always like to start the conversation, but getting to know the guests a little bit better. So can you tell us who is Muhammad Younas?
So I'm originally from Pakistan, did my bachelor's in computer sciences over there, then went to the US, University of Texas at Austin. I did my master's degree, again, in computer sciences from there. Then I lived in Dubai for almost 7 years.
Okay.
And then moved to Canada, and I have been living there for the last 10 years.
Very nice.
I have two daughters, Zoe and Michal. They hear my podcast, so I want to kind of say their name out loud. Just again running vFairs, and then a proud parent of two daughters.
Very cool. Where in Canada do you live?
I live in a city called Oakville. It's right next to Toronto.
Okay.
That's where I live.
I've only been to Ottawa in the winter. It was pretty cold, but I do want to explore more of Canada.
It's a beautiful country.
And tell us, how did you end up founding vFairs or becoming an entrepreneur? Tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yeah. So vFairs was founded as an internal project in a company called Bear.com. I used to work over there as a product director. So I was tasked to come up with an idea where we can make use of the resources within the company, but come up with something totally brand new. So I was more like an internal entrepreneur within that company. Founded vFairs. Before founded vFairs, my first job was to actually run online events by myself and sell tickets and sponsorships. So I ran hundreds of those online events. And then prospects started reaching out to me and said, well, I want to use your software, but to run my own conference, my own event. So I realized maybe I'm in the wrong business. Rather than running events on my own, maybe I should sell the software or service the software and let companies run their events. So that's when we kind of...
And what was the timeline of that? So
2008 is when I initially started doing my own events. And then roughly around 2014, like 6 years I've been running events on my own. That's when I have had enough customers who started saying that, by the way, I want to run my own content. So 2015, 16 is when vFairs was founded.
Okay, wow. So maybe I should have known, but online events were around in 2014, 15, so you were pretty early.
So not even in 2014, 15. I did my first online event back in 2008.
Wow.
So I have been doing online events from 2008 all the way to 2015, 16. So 7-8 years I was doing hundreds of these events.
What did it look like? Was it like a webinar, or was it like the virtual conferences that you saw in 2020, 2021?
So I started with virtual job fairs. So my initial job was I will bring in employers. And I will market it to job seekers that you can meet employers online, have a chat conversation with them, apply to their jobs, being interviewed virtually on the spot. So for me, that was where I started. But then companies would come to me and would say, I want to use the same platform, but not for the virtual job fair. I want to do an open day. I want to do a conference or a trade show, all online. So again, I have been doing that for almost 15 years now. A lot of people think that this business was founded during COVID or after COVID, but that's not the case. I have
but so vFairs is also facilitating those that are doing in-person conferences now as well. So you're doing kind of still both online and in-person.
Absolutely. Right now, actually, more than half of our business comes from in-person events. So during COVID, when we again went from a couple of $1 million in revenue to almost $30 million in revenue, those customers use our software. More than the software, they were like, we love your software, but we love working with you and your team. We're going to go back to in-person events once the COVID is over. What can you offer us within that space? So they helped us build products for the in-person event space. So at this point, we have 1,500 plus customers, roughly $30 million in revenue, but more than half of that revenue and the customer base is actually the customer base from in-person events. So last 2-3 years came in to launch the second product, and again helping out so far.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like we were one of the first customers of Hopin when we couldn't do physical events. We became an early customer, and a lot of affinity for Hopin and Johnny Buffer had. But I was always surprised that with the huge amounts of money that they raised and the huge amounts of revenue that they were doing, there didn't seem to be this kind of plan for post-COVID. And obviously we've seen kind of what happened, but seemingly you kind of thought or knew that, look, this is only going to be temporary, and we need to have a solution for in-person. And I don't know if you any thoughts on, it's hard to say why they didn't do that.
I don't know Johnny, you know, of course I know Hopin, but see, I think just purely depends on like who you are as a person. For me, running a company from day one has been more about profitable growth. So during the COVID days, there's not even a single VC who didn't reach out to us and said, you know, we want to invest in you guys, right? But I just didn't know what to do there with that money. We were always profitable from day one. I didn't know what to do with that money. And I was like, you know, if I don't know what to do with my own money, why would I take someone else's money to begin with, right? And again, I didn't know what will happen after COVID also. So for me, you know, any VC would tell you or would ask you, what's your forecast for the next 24 to 36 months? And after COVID, I didn't know what that forecast is, and I was very, very transparent with that one. And I'm glad that, you know, we didn't take that money. We're still bootstrapped, again, all profitable from day one. And again, you know, I believe in running company with strong operational efficiency.
Amazing. And so tell me, how long did it get you to your first million in ARR, and maybe what were some of the learnings on that journey?
Yeah, so I think we were lucky in a way that I initially built the software to run my own events. I was not out there to actually give the software to someone. So before, so when vFairs was founded, I already had a couple of customers who were like, I want to use your software, but to run my own events. So year one, we were $200,000 in revenue. Year two, we were close to 800. And year three, we were already at 1.7 or 1.8. So it took us almost 2.5 to 3 years to get to that, you know, to cross that $1 million mark. And I think that the feedback I typically give to anyone who's starting their own business is that be very close to your customers. You know, that customer feedback cycle is extremely important. Build that initial customer base, 2, 4, 5, 10 customers. Go from end to end. From the time you have sold the business, you know, sold like the first customer, to the point where you have delivered the value. Go through that entire cycle several times with your initial customer base. They will tell you what should be the next iteration in your product, where you are missing, why do they even like you, why they have signed up with you. And I just feel that that's the part that has helped us grow really quickly.
And so now you're profitable, you're bootstrapped, you're over 30 million in ARR, so congrats, you've got a great business there. I'm sure you've probably got some growth equity or PE folks knocking at the door, maybe.
All the time,
all the time. And how long did that journey take then? So like after getting to 1 to getting to 30, was COVID a bit of an accelerant there?
It was. So again, you know, those 2 years during the COVID years, they helped us grow from $2 million to $20 million in those 2 years. So again, 10x over 2 years. But then pretty much any other company within our line of business went from that $10, $20 million back to a couple of $1 million, and they have raised their costs so high that they were hardly able to sustain themselves. In our case, we were extremely lucky. We were always close to our customers. So during COVID days, you know, within our line of business, people would just give software and they would walk away and they will just try to earn the next dollar. In our case, we kept really close to our customers, and the same set of customers told us that, by the way, we want you to help build these kind of products because after COVID, we want to explore this area and that area, right? So after COVID, they helped us launch our second product, which was the in-person event offering. So unlike other businesses within our space, we're able to sustain the revenue and then even grow slightly from there.
Okay. And maybe can you, like, obviously 1 to 30, it's a long journey, and there are many different steps, 1 to 10, and so on and so forth. Maybe some like 2 or 3 of the kind of the key things that you did that really kind of helped you get to that point?
So I typically say, like, you know, from 0 to 5, 0 to 10, you want to make sure that you first find the product market fit. You want to make sure that you're actually delivering value to your customers. You want to then stay close to those customers because the same set of customers would tell you what's missing in your product, and they will help you grow to the next couple of $1 million in revenue. you wanna be hands-on with the entire journey. Again, you might be a product guy, but be very close to sales and marketing. You might be a sales guy, then be very close to product and marketing. So you wanna make sure that you're seeing things yourself, like holistically. But once you have crossed that $5-10 million in revenue, you want to make sure that you invest in talent, you actually delegate ownership so that you have the team grow your next customer base. You also want to make sure that you build internal processes that can help you scale things in an efficient way. Again, I believe in profitable growth. So you always want to make sure that, okay, what is actually delivering value? You want to keep a very close eye on in operational efficiency. And again, I'm the true believer that the true definition of business is that you should be able to provide value, give enough value to the customers so that they can pay you back, so that you run your business in a profitable way. I have never been a believer in spending $2 just to earn $1. So as far as you keep on delivering value to the customers, you do things in an efficient way, you can keep on running the business for as long as you want. And eventually, if you're persistent, if you have patience, you will last.
What about your go-to-market? I mean, we see go-to-market, like obviously people have like different models, but it seems to be changing, getting harder, people having to reinvent what they're doing for go-to-market. How do you attract customers? What's your way?
So, again, I'll tell you how to attract customers, but I will tell you one of the things that has worked really well for us is that once we had that initial set of customer base, more than half of our business comes from word of mouth from our existing set of customer base. We are a strong believer that the best sales team is your existing customer base. So we go above and beyond. Even though we are in technology business, we typically say internally that we feel that we are in hospitality business. We want to be so close with the customer, give them that 7-star experience, that they go and spread around that, by the way, this is how. In the events business, the great thing is that anyone who attend an event, and on average, an online conference gets 1,000+ people, and in-person will get around 500+ people. Everyone attending your conference, your customer's conference, is a prospect. If they will have a great experience, they will ask that organizer, who are you using as a platform? Where did you get your badges from? Where did you get this badge printing software from? And that has helped us get a lot of other new customers. Now, from a GTM perspective, it's typical, again, we have SEO, SEM, we have a traditional outbound function, that's how we get our initial set of customer base, but I think where we have been able to kind of, beat the competition is to use existing customers to help us acquire new customers.
I guess on the outbound side, I mean, are you happy to share like what your ACV is? Because if you're getting both like inbound and outbound, and how big is the sales team on the outbound?
So roughly 1,500 customers. Our ACV is $20,000, $30 million in revenue. Again, it doesn't differentiate much between inbound and outbound in terms of ACV. Our ACV for inbound is a bit lower, so around $15,000. In an outbound, it's roughly around 25 to 30K. Because in outbound, we target the big customers. In inbound, you get all sorts of customers.
Is there a self-service part of the product?
So it is. The entire platform is self-service. Having said that, again, when you have your virtual events customers, we know that they haven't run a virtual event before. So even though they can go ahead and they can fully self-serve themselves, we provide, again, professional services and customer support free of charge. So unlike anyone else within our industry, again, I'm of the opinion that I'm not in the tech business alone, I'm in the hospitality business. I want to make sure that our customers know the best practices to run any type of event, whether it's in-person or virtual. So we give them that customer support, that project manager free of charge along with the software.
And what do you love your thoughts around competition, right? Because, I mean, SaaS in general is now very saturated. Every single market has thousands of competitors. So quite difficult to stand out and succeed and become the leader in the category. And perhaps you can comment around that, how you think about that. And then specifically, I guess, within the event tech industry, I think, was it recently I heard that like it's very difficult to grow a great event tech business. I mean, obviously, I think you're proving wrong here, because eventually Cvent snaps everybody up, right? So I would love your thoughts on both of those things.
See, I think running any business is tough. And again, I think I love having competition around, just because that's the only way you will grow, you will improve, because you want to make sure that you can provide service better to your customers than anyone else around. Again, see, running any business, whether this one or the one I have run before it, I'm of the opinion that if you have the right unit economics, which is again, if you have structured the entire company in a way where you are not losing money, you can keep on running the business for as long as you want, and if you're persistent and if you are patient, you will eventually succeed. In most cases, we have seen that even the companies that were ahead of us, they just either lost the passion to do the business, or they were just out of money. So for me, really, I have been brought up in a way where you want to spend less and earn more, and as far as you can keep on doing that at a personal level and at professional level, you'll be fine. And in that category, I just feel that once you keep on doing that, I don't worry too much about than anything else around. If customers are finding value in what you're providing, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
And given, I guess, kind of like the metrics of your business and 30 million in bootstrap, for you, I guess, kind of personally, you never really have to sell. You're in a really great position. But if Cvent come knocking at the door, and is something? Do you ever think about the exit and say, look, I'm going to do this for a certain period of time, but maybe this is not going to be a 100-year company. How do you think about that?
See, for me, it is about building long-term value. For everyone around you. It's for your customers, it's for your employees, it's for your vendors. And see, I'm of the opinion that you should never say no to anything, and you're always open for a conversation. At this point, I'm of the opinion that there is a lot that we can go ahead and we can do just by being bootstrapped versus someone else coming to us and owning our journey. But you never know. It really depends on the conversation that one would have.
Good stuff. I want to go into this sort of quickish fire round at the moment. So would love to know perhaps what's the hardest thing about being a CEO?
See, the hardest thing about being a CEO is just I think just being accountable for everything. So as a CEO, if there's anything that does happen wrong, you believe that it's your fault, and it is, because people are doing what you're telling them to do. And then the hardest part is also just being transparent to every single person, because you want to make sure that whether it's your employees or anyone that you work with, you don't sugarcoat a lot of those things, because being a CEO, you want to get things done quickly. You don't want to kind of derail the conversation. So just being transparent without hurting anyone's feeling every single day with your employees and everyone else around is a bit of a tough ask.
What do you do to look after yourself, to make sure that you're able to give it your all every day?
And again, I think for me, I love working hard. That's who I am, just as a person. And again, as far as I look around me and I see that I'm able to make a difference in someone's life, whether it's our own employees, whether it's helping our customers, run great events, I think that just makes me happy, making difference in people's lives.
Do you believe in work-life balance? Do you have that?
I believe in that for other people. I don't have it, and and I'm not unhappy about it. I believe that in order to succeed in life, one has to work hard, and I do work hard. And again, for me, it's not a typical work-life balance, and I'm okay.
I mean,
with that.
I was speaking with Krish, the CEO of ChargeBee, yesterday over dinner. And he said he's only been at home 45 days this year, right? And so traveling constantly, it's pretty...
I think if you're running a business, if you want to keep growing it, it's impossible to do it with a proper work-life balance unless you have figured it out. I haven't figured that out yet for myself,
What about best advice you've ever received?
See, the best advice I have ever received is just, understand the true definition of running a business. For me, running the business has always been to run it in a way such that you're not spending more money than what you're earning. As far as you can just keep on doing that, you can keep on running the business for as long as you want. And I just stick to that definition of running a business ever since I've been doing this.
And tell me, this is your first SaaStock Europe. What's your objective here? You're here as an attendee. You're not exhibiting. What are you hoping to get out of it?
See, I think the great thing about a conference like this one is that you can look at great content, you can network, you can meet with sponsors, exhibit, etc. I think everyone has their own way of getting the best out of a conference. I'm here because I saw some great speakers and there are some great topics, like the AI one and a couple of others. I'm here primarily for that, which is again, just to take inspiration from some of the great speakers that you guys have out there. And while going to the great content, I'm pretty sure I will be able to network with a lot of other people and so forth, but I prioritize content over networking when I'm in a conference. But I know that that's exactly the opposite why some of the other people sometimes are here. When I was growing the business, I used to network a lot, but at this point, I'm here, sit in my own silo, look at the content, and then...
I envy you because whilst obviously we're running the event and we've got all these amazing speakers, like I barely get to see any of the content, and I know we record a lot of it, but not all of it. Like often, I don't really necessarily get to watch it, afterwards. Maybe a couple of pieces, but I envy you being able to sit down and watch these great speakers.
I make notes, I Slack my team members as soon as I get a nugget from one of the conferences.
Nice. Well, hopefully you get a lot of nuggets here. And I think as you know, we ran the SaaStock Awards for the first time for SaaStock Europe. One of the categories was CEO of the Year, and I think by some margin you were the clear winner. So obviously I want to congratulate you and present you with the award of being CEO of the Year for SaaStock Awards 2024. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And again, whenever, again, it's all, I want to thank our employees, I want to thank our customers. I'm not sure who voted for me, but I'm assuming that these are the set of people who I kind of serve. And again, I want to thank them for this one.
Congratulations, CEO of the Year, Muhammad Younas, at the SaaS Revolution Show, live at SaaStock Europe.
Thank you, Alex.
Cheers.